4. And where's the line?
47 Fulton.
I'm sorry, we're not copying your launch location. Try that one more time for me.
847 Fulton.
847 Fulton, okay. 10-4.
4234 on the beat is coming over to domestic battery at 1815 North Winchester, 1815 North Winchester. Fanny stated the caller and the owner of the vehicle.
All right, thank you. 111, 113, Robert, 11.
Yes, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Oh, what a crappy day today. Sorry I missed you guys this morning. I tried, I bumped it back a couple just to see if it got a little quieter or not. It never did, so I was like, yeah, this ain't happening. So I apologize about that, but we got some good stuff that we're going to be getting into with both shows. Man, that story just keeps changing. The Kansas City 3. There's a very interesting document. You know, if you guys remember that document from the United States Senate, from the United States Senate to the University of Idaho President Scott Green. Well, I'm going to be reading you the response from Mr. Green, and it's quite a letter. It's quite lengthy, too, so we'll be reading that. We're going to go through... I wanted to sit down in the Idaho4 part and kind of... Hidden True Crime had this podcast right after the crime took place, and I thought that they said a lot of interesting things before... It was before all the media spin, and I thought, wow, back then they said a lot of interesting things before all the media started spinning things. So I thought maybe we would check that out as an old note, fresh note. And there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this KC3 Kansas City 3. Holy crap. It just gets stranger and stranger. Now, it sounds like, you know, the fifth person's kind of starting to come forward because the blame's being pushed on that person. And now you're saying that you saw him awake past midnight. And it just... The truth's going to come out here soon, you know? It always does, eventually. You would hope, anyway. We're going to be going through some of those. I want to say good evening to everybody. Thank you for hopping in. Appreciate you. I can't wait to get into that letter from Mr. Green, either. What's up, Katrina? Ticket 3, but it said 2. I know, YouTube's been crazy. I'll go like somebody else's video, and it doesn't even say the number. It just says liked. What? When does that happen? Number 4, Skittles. Thank you for hopping. Appreciate you. Kib Kitty. Ticket number 5. Yeah, that was the morning. Whoops. Yeah. Don't think I'll be able to do it yet. Yeah, what a bummer. Fingers crossed for tomorrow. Fingers crossed for tomorrow. Let's see here. Let's get through the morning chat of all of us. Yeah, Nina, right? Jacqueline, ticket number 7, thank you. 49er Girl, ticket number 8. Mark and Betty, ticket number 11. What's up, Kelly? Ticket 12. Thank you. What's up, Caddy? Appreciate you. Senny, ticket 13. New icon photo. How's it up there in Cleveland? Starting to warm up now, hopefully, right? Ooh, let's get that damn lake effect up there. You know what I mean. Debray, ticket number 14. Thank you. Isn't that the worst? Senny is the frickin' lake effect. Oh, it's horrible. Cheryl, ticket 14. It's so unpredictable, too, and it'll just, boom, just drop a whole bunch on you. No notice. No notice. Golden ticket number 15. Thank you, Mary. Yoli ticket 17. Thank you. Showtime. What's up, Christina? Ticket number 19. Thank you for hopping in. Excuse me. I'm stiff. I'm like sniffly, too. I don't know. Maybe because of the weather change. It's like almost 60 now or something. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate that. What's up, Crystal? I think it's like 60 or something. Shit just jumps all over the place. It was actually colder in here than it was outside. I was like, what? How does that happen? Kelly Miller, ticket number 23. Thank you. How does that happen? How is it colder in here than it is outside? I was like, what? I don't know. I don't understand it. Oh, contribution call out. Give me 1 second here. Snuck it in on me. Wapiti White Rump. Huh? Everyone, it's me, Leslie. Thank you for becoming a member for 2 months. I appreciate it, Wapiti. And thank you for the contribution to the show and the community. Thank you. No late woot in the door with ticket 24. Thank you, Ghost Printer. Appreciate that. Is that like a 3D printer or something, Ghost Printer? What is that? What's up, Midnight Rays? Ticket 19. Thank you. Do like 3D printer work or something? Good Wednesday? No. Not over here. Not over here, no. Nope. Love the opening mosh. The very, very beginning, that's mine. And that, because that's something that's actually something that's been since the beginning of the show. The very, very beginning. And then when I was going through a lot of my old files a while back, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the one that I didn't cut off, you know, where it has that little extra end to it. So if you go watch all the old shows, you'll hear the first part, but then the part where it starts like brrr, that part never existed. So I was like, you know, we're going into 2024. So let's just go into 2024 with that little extra. And then we got talented individuals after that. You got this music back here, all this stuff. What's up, Moonlight? Again, collateral damage. What's up? Ooh. What's up, Jenny? Made it to the beginning of the stream. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Wait till you hear Mr. Green's response. But we're going to be doing Idaho4 after we do. Oh my gosh, Kelly Miller. Contribution call out and a freeze and a contribution call out. Kelly Miller for the $299.99. CJ, thanks for all you do, and thank you for all you do. And thank you for everything that you do out there in the true crime community. We all appreciate that so much. An all-star out there. Like, she needs her own emoji, right? Where was that? She needs her own emoji. I changed my name because I had that name for 15 years. Oh. Again, Kelly Miller. Freeze. Thank you so much, Kelly. Appreciate you so much. Let me see. What's up, LR? How are you? Good to see you. Aw. What's up, Alan? Is that how you pronounce it, Alan? Or let me know how you pronounce it so I get it right. What's up, Danny? Hello to you. Power Glove. Songs, huh? Charlie Brown, what's up? Ticket number 34. Thank you. Appreciate that. Detective Golden ticket 36. What's up, Mama 5? Thank you for hopping in. Have I ever listened to Yep. Actually, it was kind of funny because Law and Crime had their video last night, and then all of a sudden there's like so many people talking about how it's real again, and I'm just like, I mean, hey, I want to know if the timestamp's real, yo. I want to know if the timestamp's real. Let me know if the timestamp. But I do. Maybe I should put that as a playlist because it is being a topic again. Because we went through like all of it. I got so much other stuff. Stuff that's not like the bottom of the chip bag. that I'd like to get through before. I mean, not to say that we won't ever go through the Linda Lane stuff again. Maybe if I do get to a point where we are getting the last little pieces of chips out of the chip bag. But we already did. I should put together a playlist though for it so that way people can go back and watch it if they want to, cuz we did yeah. Yeah, there was all sorts of different versions. I remember that too, Danny, when it came out. There was like so many different versions. There was like so many different versions. Sent me better pictures of the yard. Good, because Nina says she knows where the window's at. So we're going to take a look at those pictures here too when we get to that as well. What's up, Crafts and Crime? Ticket 44, thank you. Yes. Own emoji. Icy and tons of rain, so weird. Really? 44 and raining, not much typing. Aw. Aw. Well, prayers. What about, can you, I wonder if you can use your phone, like you can talk. Maybe there's a way. You know what you could do, Mary, if this might be an idea. Maybe do like talk to text on your phone and then just copy and paste it in YouTube. And then you're not even having to type. All you have to do is you just go to your phone, just copy, paste, and then right into YouTube. And then you're just going, maybe that might help. Prayers, though. I can imagine. Oh, I can imagine. 51 in Cincy. SM, what's up? Mama, number 29. Thank you, SM. Ticket 51. What's up, Coffee Cake? FAA. Hey, y'all. I'm late. It's all good. We always got the intros going, the hellos, you know. Make sure everybody's included. John Morgan, Ticket 53. Thank you so much. Belated hello back. Oh, thanks. I was hoping to be on this morning. I really was, because I had some, like that news that broke overnight. I was like, yes, we're going to talk about this in the morning. Yeah. I bumped it back a half an hour a couple times, and then I'm just like, you know what? It's just not. So hopefully tomorrow. Well, we do have some, yeah, I probably should do that. Let me write that down. Right. I mean, we dug into it, you know. I need to know if the timestamps first. I need to know if the timestamp's real. You know, that's it. There's some. I mean, then we're taken away. You know, then we're taken away from. You know, from real. You know, like stuff we haven't got into yet. You know, just like what you know, just like before it was. I think that's when we were digging into the grub truck or something. Or maybe it was some. We were doing something and we were about to do something, and then all of a sudden all this. Do you think Jordan Willis and the boys were taking fentanyl? Well, this might have been smashed, which yeah. Well, cause that's what I was saying yesterday, like ain't nobody it's kind of like when I was saying, like, you know, you wake up, you're fucked up. You wake up, you're just you just get up to go to the bathroom and get something to drink, and then you go right back, I don't think like the fact that they were all like something happened to all three of them, period. Straight up, like at the same time or something. Something happened to them all at the same time. I'm gonna say it from minute one. Like, there's no way three dudes there's just no way. Something at the same time. The dude inside, I can see why dude was passed out for a day and a half. But I don't understand how dude can answer the door with some earbuds, an empty wine glass, and some boxers and be like, hey, what's going on? When you just had somebody break into your fucking house and scream for you. And then to act like you don't even know, or you don't even know what happened, your story's changing. It's called, bro, you know what happened. Fess up. You know what happened. Fess up. And what it sounds like right now, before we get into it, because there's other stuff, but what it sounds like to me is that maybe the friend came over and brought some shit, and the dude that was the homeowner's like, yo, why don't you mix it with this shit? And the dude that went home was like, nah, I'm cool. I'm just going to have the shit that I brought. And maybe the other dudes were like, sure, why not? And then something happened. And then the dude that left, that nobody knew about at first, left because he didn't even want to be a part of what happened. And I think the dude that lives there knows all about what happened, was trying to act like he didn't know what happened. That's why the story changed multiple times. And so when the lawyer starts to put the pressure on the dude that wasn't caught or wasn't, the fifth guy, that's when he's like, yo, 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 yo. Hold on. No. I think that's what's taking place right now. But I don't know. There's a couple things I haven't watched yet, so it could be different. What's up, mistaken ticket number 64? But even if you're on a drug bender, you're out for a day and a half, the activity after that, from when you're not, somebody breaks in your house and announces themselves, and then when the cops, you're like, yeah, what's up? From that point on, yo, no, you need to fess up. Oh shoot, is that where you sent the pictures? Let me know. What's up, April? Happy hump day. I don't know. I haven't heard what's came out today, though. I think the dude, I mean, come on. A chemist and three people at the same time? Yeah. Somebody probably wanted to experiment, and it wasn't a good experiment, The Practice. I remember the name. I don't remember the show. What's up, Jordan? How are you tonight? I remember the name. What's up, American Princess? Something's definitely off. 100. All right, we're going to get into it. I guess Nancy Grace came out with an episode about it. I was like, maybe we'll check it out. There's the Surviving the Survivor. We'll be having another combo episode coming again tomorrow, because there's still more stuff with both of this stuff, and I don't want to not discuss either one. So give me 1 second, and we'll go ahead and get into this Kansas City 3 topic. Kelly, let me know where you sent those pics to me for the, what was it, the backyard? And then Nina, let me know where you say this window is, because we're trying to figure out where this basement window is. I think I sent them all to myself too. Hold on. Yes, I did. Here it is. All right, so we're going to go to this basement window. Okay, maybe not. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. Whoops, that's not it. So here we go. Here's the pictures. Now, this is the basement, supposedly the finished basement. All right, so here's the window that we're talking about. So, we'll go ahead and get into it. What's up, Rob? How you doing? Well, I don't know. Nina says that, and we got better pictures from Kelly, and it's on IG. All right. All right, Nina. Let me see. I will in 1 second. All right, so this is the photo. Now, let me go to Instagram. And if you have anything you want to share for the show, you can send it to these links right here. All right, let's see here. Okay, updated pics. Great view of huge windows and sliding glass doors. Holy shit. Yes, we know Professor, yes, unalived. Yep. Yeah, we went through that before. That was, I think we went through that when we were in Moscow, actually, when I made the trip. Let me see here. Oh, look at that stuff. Ooh, University of Phoenix stuff. All right. We'll be getting more into that stuff too in the next couple shows. I got to do these combo shows. Otherwise, we're going to miss out on all of it. All right. So this is apartments.com. So here's the link for this. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate it. There it is, apartments.com, 5208 Northwest 83rd. What's up, Danielle? How you doing? Aw, hold on 1 second. Contribution call out for the $3 super sticker. I got to see what the animation is. In StreamYard, you need to add these animations to the super stickers on the screen. Oh, look at that. It's a cat. Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Little cat wiggling around. Yes, these are updated, right? So it looks like I'm going to have some new pictures to save here. Let's see. What's up, Crime Solver? All right. Well, supposedly, okay, what's up, Michelle? So I need to get this straight now. What's the right story when it comes to where the bodies were found? Number 69, dudes. What is the story where these bodies were found? Was it still one in the porch, two in the backyard? Okay, so they are long velvet, discreet green curtains. So, oh, hold on. Let me go back to that photo. So usually, as far as I know, there are windows behind curtains. Well, but see, that would either be the front or the back then, if it's where the curtain is. And I don't know. We're gonna take a look around. Look, on the last show we went around the whole property, and I didn't see any windows. I'm having a hard time seeing where a window's even at when we walked around. So we'll walk around here again in a second. Thank you. What's up, Katrina? Daniel Olson, hold on. Contribution call out. There we go. For becoming a member. Appreciate that. And thank you for that contribution. StreamYard always moves it. There we go. Ticket 70. Typically unique 76. Hopefully all's good with you. Hope you're doing well. That's what we need to find out. I need to find out where that window straight back is. That's what I need to find out, because I think it's towards the garage, but I don't see a spot where there's any kind of window that goes in, a recessed window. I don't see you don't even see the little, because you would see a little piece at the top that kind of sticks up. That could be. Maybe it's who knows? Yeah, who knows? I'm wondering where that window straight in the back is. Not going to be basement. You'll see when you see back in these pics. I know, Rob, but I was looking at it, man, and that's just are you talking on the left? Because if you're talking on the left of it, I was like, damn, that's really small to have a recessed window with the weight of that unit next to the ground that's next to the recessed window. And I'm thinking, damn, if it's that close, you might be playing around with some ground settling the wrong way, with all that weight there. Because usually when you have the unit there, you got a cement slab there too. So you got to add the weight of the cement slab plus the unit. And that's where I'm like, oh, I don't know. You look on the right side, I don't think they would have all of those cables, the 420s and all that stuff. I don't think they would have those by the recessed window, because the recessed window has to be an exit for a fire. So it's got to be around somewhere, because you got to have an access to get out if there's a fire. So it's got to be, I'm thinking it's where the garage, I don't know, man. I don't know. Can you zoom in on that window? I can, but here, I can take another picture. But the quality is not going to be very good. We're going to look. Here, let me see. Hold on. We're going to look at Kelly's picture here. It's going to be on the main level? Really? What's up, Lion's Lair? All right. How about we get to Kelly's picture? Let's get to Kelly's pictures first. Can you show the outside again, please? All right, hold on. Yeah, same here, Rob. It's been bugging the shit out of me too. It's like a song you can't remember. It's like, damn, who sings that? And then you just can't. It's like right there on the tip of your tongue, and you're like, All right. Hold on. Let's go to this. Let's go to this here. Let's go to this. Let's look at these pictures. Damn, look at those floors. Those floors look good with those pictures. How many pictures do we got? How much are they asking now? It doesn't say. All right. We're just going to click on it. Oh, where's the next one? I can't skip. Okay, can I save it? No. Shit, I can't even save it. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's go to... Okay, so there's the garage, the backyard. Let me see how... Here, let me get rid of this. Sorry, I didn't realize that was covering it. Let me see if I can make this bigger for you guys. No, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't. Okay. Yeah, let me see here. We'll bring up the other ones too. I wish... See, the other ones, I could save it as an image, but these are saved as web pages, and it doesn't transfer. All right. I can just scroll up and down. Okay. Wow, they never did paint that damn floor. Okay, so there's the window. That's why your green curtains there, Nina. There you go. There's your green curtains. It was blocking like a side room or something. Okay, so there's a window. You can see siding. You can see siding, and it's like a tannish color. So that's what it is. You can see siding in a tannish color. So the room, the basement's facing the house to the that window is facing the house to the left. Yep. It's facing the house to the left. So that window is under the porch. So the window is by the AC unit, but it's not showing it. The window's by the AC unit. That's where it's at. So if you're looking at this right here, I can see the siding going sideways. Let me see. Let me just take a couple and I'll zoom in on them, okay? Hold on. We'll take a couple and then I'll zoom in on them. Let's see. We'll just save it here. Okay, so we'll take that picture. Here, let me check chat. What all pictures do you want me to take from this website? What pictures? It doesn't have any pictures of the AC, where the AC unit is, but I'm pretty damn sure that's where the window's pointing because of the siding. And I think there's siding, and I'm going to show you the zoomed in picture so you can see what I'm seeing. I mean, yeah, same, but it's like, it was either that or the garage. And I didn't see nothing on the garage. There's no way, because there's cement where the garage is at, so it had to be over there, but it's just like, how? No tunnels, but possible pool parties. So, okay, so I saw somebody in chat say that's what they're calling the patio. What do you mean that's what they're calling what patio? What do you... Okay, so we got a picture of... If there's any pictures you want, let me know. Let me see. Let's go to the... They actually updated it, so that's nice. Wow, look at... Jeez, the floors are beautiful. Okay, so there's the top picture. Wow. I love those stairs. I really do. They kind of like stick out where the door comes in, but man, they're so cool looking. And then look at that. They got a fireplace back there. Always wanted a fireplace. I like the dark trim going around the doorways and the access areas. It's a nice accent. I like that dark trim going around there. I mean, look at that. That looks good. And then you got the like fake wrought iron curtain rod. I love the wood floor. I love those dark accents. That looks really good with the wood floor. Look at that. And then it's got the thing in the middle, the border in the middle. That's fancy. I like that. That's pretty stylish. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And then you walk down one step from the kitchen and you have your breakfast in the window room. I have to say, this looks, other than that fake ass plastic sticker tile they got on the walls there in the kitchen, yo, that's for the floor. You know, that's for the floor. That's not for the fucking wall. That's not for the wall. They went cheap there. That's from the old... Wow, look at that. I love the wood. You know, it matches the wood in the outside. Look at that. They got the gray in there, like the smoke gray color. Fancy. That looks fucking... Wow, those electrical outlets. They still got the cheap paneling on the side there. They still got the cheap paneling on the side. You know it's the cheap paneling because the paneling that's cheap has like the different, you know how they got like the lines going in it, kind of ground into it, and then they're like all different sizes. Yeah, because look at those outlets, man. That's dangerous shit, yo. That's dangerous. It's like one of the outlets is like hanging out. That's not good. Yes, there you go. Carpet patterns, buddy. Yes, that's how you make it, but you should have finished it all the way out. What are you doing? And you kind of, you got to give it like a little swirl too, so it looks like a teardrop. You just flick the wrist a certain way and you get the... Look at that though. You see what I mean? I mean, not bad. Could have been better, you know, but the carpet patterns, you know? That's what I'm saying. Rock on with the patterns. It's all about, ooh, look at that. See? Oh, man, and you don't do them in... If you got to do them in different angles, you do it as it follows. Not... No. It's got to follow. It's not scattered. Looks good, though. I like it. Sorry, I was like sucked into these pictures here. And then you get the shit basement. All right, so we got that one picture. I don't see any other photos we could really use. I'm going to save the rest of these later because they are better quality. Thank you, Kelly, for that. But what I mean is not using... I need the picture. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's the one from across there, and I'll show you what I mean. So let me see here. Let me send just this picture to me. And then we'll bring up Google. Where'd it go? Oh, there's that Scott Peterson van. We'll be doing Scott Peterson Sunday night. OJ Sunday morning. All right. Let's click on this. All right. So this is what it looks like zoomed in. All right. So, man, it's a shame I can't. That's siding. If you guys can see it good. I don't know if you can see it good or not. It's siding. That's just my opinion. So now we're going to go to Google Guy because the house to the left is the house that has that kind of siding, I believe. All right, so that siding is going up and down, and this siding is going side to side. So it's got to be fucking blur. Yeah. Side to side. Man, that basement, like, so it really has to have an angle going like this to be looking outside. Because there's the house with the siding. So if the siding is that high, that angle's got to be like that coming out that window. But that it's, yeah, that's unless let me see. Let me look at this picture again. Unless so it comes and then goes this way. Let me look at a picture in the backyard. I bet you that window's on the other side of the fence. I bet you the window's on the other side of the fence. Because when you're looking at... Shit, where did it go? When you're looking at this, right? You see where it comes out, and then goes back? That's on the other side of the fence. Let me get a different picture. Okay, see? I bet you that window's on the other side of the fence. Because the reason I say that is because when you go to this, that part that sticks out is where your frickin' sunroom is. And this corner here matches the corner that's right there where that sunroom is. That corner right there. So it matches that corner. So then when you look this corner, it matches that corner to this corner. And I bet you that window, the reason that we couldn't see it is because that window is on the other side of the fence. Because if you look at this picture, that fence goes way to the left. So let me see. Yeah, it's got to be on the other side of that fence. Whoa. It's got to be on the other side of the fence. That's why we couldn't see it from the road, because then if we try and see it from the road... Wait a minute. No. How does this make sense? So then the window, the fence. Wait a minute. Hold on. Because it don't look like the fence is right up. It looks... That don't look like the fence is right up. It's not. Wait, what? Now I don't... Yeah. This damn window. Where's it at? It's on the... So, did she jump the fence? Did she jump the fence? I think it's in the front near where entranceway is set back a ways. Yeah. I don't know, crime solver. I don't... Is it even a crime? I don't think so. Is it? Let's see here. This is from just a little bit ago. Yep. All right. So now there's another one. Fifth friend. Where is that? So that was from last night. So we're going to click on this again. Hold on. Oh, he changed his story from saying that he saw him leave to then he said that he fell asleep before they left to then saying that they left at midnight to the... It's... Oh, that was... Were they waiting for him to... Oh. Oh. Were they... Whoa. This is why I feel like that guy just... I don't know. I got this intuition like he didn't do nothing. Right? So with this guy saying that everybody was there watching TV alive in the same room, I bet you they were waiting for him to go home because they didn't want him to know what they were about to do, because I wonder if the him that left was still practicing the non-partaking. And they knew, if he knew, then they would be called out. I don't know. That's a bold statement. He's saying, I saw them all. I saw them all watching TV. He didn't say the other guys were out back and this guy went to bed. No. When he left, they were all in the same room alive.
Jackson, who broke the story, joins us live from police headquarters.
That's why the guy that owns or rents the house is the shady one. I'm gonna keep saying it. I just feel it. Period. Have the way that you're acting, the shit that now you've only been friends with them 3 to 5 years. The rest of the high school buddies come over, one of them leaves, and then all of a sudden everybody's scattered. I wonder if they all did it together. They all did it together and they just didn't want him to know, because they know that they would have got called out on their shit because he's... I don't know. True. I'm just saying it makes a hell of a lot more sense than the story that the other guy's saying.
Alive and watching
That's all I'm
jeopardy.
saying.
Dell says his client then received a text from Clayton.
He didn't have somebody break in and then standing there with a wine glass going, huh? What? Oh, shit.
As to what
That's a good question. That's because that's what when I first heard that, I was like, what, did she leave through the window she broke in? Because that's pretty fucking dangerous. That's pretty dangerous. You break in somewhere and then you leave, especially if it's a basement or patio. I mean, you're right by a bunch of doors. So it is a good question. Why wouldn't you leave through the door or something? Or that too. Yeah, because what'd you do? Just the whole breaking in thing doesn't make sense to me either. Like, so you broke in, you announced yourself, and then you went back out through the window. You didn't go through the whole house. You did go through, like, you didn't leave through the door. Like, I don't know. It's all suspicious, all of it. Even whoever, even the lady who busted in the window,
what happened
it's weird.
to his friends at
Something's
last
all
check,
like all of it.
KCPD is still waiting on the medical examiner to determine a cause of death. Christelle.
Cause of death. All right, give me 1 second. Let me see if we have anything else for that. I don't really watch Nancy Grace too much, but she does kind of kick some ass when it comes to some of this shit, especially when there's like nobody to necessarily pin it on. So I want to see what she has to say. Now, this is okay. So when it comes to them changing their story, this is what I'm talking about right here.
Zuves. Well, mystery still surrounds the circumstances involving 3 men who were found dead outside of a Kansas City home. They had allegedly been watching a football game with friends, but their bodies were found 2 days after the game when worried relatives grew concerned because numerous texts went unanswered. And now there could be even more to this situation. News Nation anchor Natasha Zuves is live for us. Natasha, the attorney for the person who lives at the home is changing his story.
Yeah, it's complicated, Nicole. The lawyer for Jordan Willis, who lived in the home where the 3 friends were found dead, is changing his story yet again. So earlier this week, attorney John Picerno revealed that there was another person present when Willis allegedly left the 3 men to go to sleep upstairs. But now Picerno is saying his client actually walked the 4 men to the door before going back to the couch and falling asleep. Our News Nation affiliate in Kansas City spoke with this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at first too.
5th man and his lawyer.
Was that he was either that or he just, like I said, if you are, there's so many people that I know that have messed with that shit, and when they don't want you to know, they literally, and it's so obvious that they're like trying to like not let you know, but you fucking know. You know what I'm saying? If anybody has experience with any family or friends or loved ones that are experiencing those things, you'll understand what I'm saying. Like they try and like hide it so much that it's so fucking obvious. It really is, and it's almost like a little kid with chocolate in the corner of his mouth telling you that he swears he didn't have a cookie. He swears he didn't have a cookie. I swear I didn't have a cookie. I didn't get in there. I swear. But you see the cookie, like, so I can see how, like, if they're all buddies and they all grew up together, me and all my high school buddies, we all did the same shit. You know what I mean? So I could, and the dude, maybe that's why he showed up late, because those guys didn't want him to know. And so they have their own little clique when you deal with that shit, you have your own little cliques anyway. So then you're gonna gravitate. So if you have 4 high school buddies, y'all went to get help, and who says that one of them wasn't the one that was partaking again, and the other 2 were hanging around, just they knew about it. There's so many different possibilities that it could be, or even the 5th. There's so many different. It's a shame it's going to take so long for a toxicology, but that's just the reality of the situation.
Now, the man's attorney, Andrew Tausch, says that his client arrived at Willis's home around 7 p.m. and left around midnight. And he insists Willis and the 3 men were alive and watching Jeopardy when he went home. We reached out to Paserno about this. He declined to comment. He did tell our own Ashley Banfield Willis let his friends out while telling our News Nation affiliate he went to bed, only adding to the confusion and mystery surrounding the death of these 3 men. The lawyer for the 5th man says his client received texts from the families of the deceased in the days after they were together. Now, he claims to have texted Willis about it too, but never got a response back. Yet another inconsistency. Willis's attorney says his client never received any texts from anyone, instead only messages through Facebook. Now, the victims' families have been very vocal about their frustrations with the inconsistencies. One of the men's uncles telling us he is done with all of the conflicting stories.
Yeah.
This is cover up. Something's wrong with the picture. Man up.
Cover up.
Man up.
Yeah, you're short. Your story's shady, bro.
He has to know. He's a grown man too. He has to know what happened.
Story's shady.
So Willis is cooperating with authorities. Officials are still working to determine a cause of death for the men, though, saying there are no obvious signs of foul play. Now, friends and family of the victims telling us they are just not getting clear communication from police. Nicole?
Yeah, still so many questions here right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I want to get in to this Nancy Grace episode. So we're going to let Nancy Grace weigh in. We're going to see what Nancy Grace has to say. I'm interested, even though that's going to be a lot of theatricals. Nancy, and the creepy Koberger stuff. But there's nobody that's even being, there's nobody that's been charged with a crime. So there's Tracy. There's nobody that's been charged with a crime. So she, I want to hear if I can hear something, because I do have articles. I'll share a couple with you. Here's one from a little bit ago. This is from today. And I can't wait to read President Green's response to the United States Senate to you guys in a little bit. Let me see here. So let's see if there's anything being said real quick that was hanging out at the home. All gathered to watch. We heard that statement from the lawyer. 5th person was present and still there when the 3 victims. But this doesn't have the reporter. Remember, the reporter talked to the 5th person, and the reporter said in the beginning of that 5th person interview or news segment clip that he said he was there when everybody was watching TV in the same room. Stress that it's absolutely true. He was not the last person to see the 3 men alive. Yeah, so this is basically everything. Let's see. According to Talgi, when his client left Willis's home, the 4 men were watching Jeopardy. Most importantly, he said they were still alive during those early hours Monday. So they were playing dice, watching Jeopardy after the game. I didn't know Jeopardy was on that late. Maybe it is because of I don't know. The only messages Willis received were via Facebook. He didn't receive any text messages or calls. But yeah, I thought somebody said they emailed you, and you didn't say anything about email in that answer. I could have swore somebody said they emailed him. Let's see, a lot of holes. Got a lot of holes in it last time. He saw them. They were leaving the house, but he didn't know they had left. That doesn't make much sense. And that's Clayton McGeeney's cousin, Caleb. More of what the lawyer said. We've already heard those videos. Said his client never left the house from Sunday's gathering to watch the Chiefs game until after police arrived Tuesday night. So Paserno's saying that Willis never left the property, but I was hearing, I don't know, I was hearing a couple things about how the dude that resided at the house came and went a couple times. That's just what I was hearing last night, too. Not saying it's true, but I was hearing the dude that lived at the house came and left in between. It's just what I heard. Not saying it's true. Okay, waiting on autopsy results. Willis is not facing any charges in this case at this time. So, because there are nobody's being charged, we're going to check out this episode with Nancy Grace. We're going to let Nancy Grace weigh in. I'm glad that, I'm just going to say one thing. Even though we're going to watch this, I am glad that we don't have to base all of our content off of Nancy Grace. Oh, my Lord. Can you imagine? I couldn't handle it. Couldn't do it. Media lies. You know this. Yeah, but there's nobody that's charged yet. Now, you know she's going to blame the two dudes that are still alive. But I want to hear what's the spicy shit, Nancy? Because we might find some. We might. That's why we even go through the fresh notes, old notes for Idaho4. Because the old stuff, even though it might have a certain spin to it, we always find a little benefit to everything. So let's see what she has to say. Oh, she you know she's going to go crazy tonight.
There's a party watching the Kansas City Chiefs. And who wouldn't? Everybody wants to see Taylor Swift, right? Oh, excuse me. Everybody wants to see the Chiefs win.
So Gracie is right.
Diehard fans get together and they watch the game. So how do three of them
she's going to blame BK
dead on the porch in the backyard? Focus on porch right outside the door. You can see it. How do three of the friends end up dead? And the fourth friend claims he was, quote, asleep for 2 days. He was asleep for 2 days. He never went outside and saw the dead body. Okay. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories.
It's called Recovering from a Bend, Nancy.
Thanks for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. What do we know? Listen.
Yeah.
On January 8, friends and family of David Harrington, Ricky Johnson, and Clayton McGinney are concerned about their friends. The last they knew is they were headed to Jordan Willis' house to watch the game.
Right, SM?
But now none of the guys, including Jordan Willis, are replying to messages on social media or by phone.
Okay, right there. January 8, it's cold. They are partying at Jordan's home, Jordan Willis, the homeowner. They're watching the Chiefs, and the next thing you know, three are dead, and one claims he's been asleep for days. With me, an all-star panel. But first, I want to go to the woman who has been breaking news about this story from the get-go.
Oh.
It's Jen Smith, and she is joining us from dailymail.com. Jen, that's where I first found out about this, and it.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. You know, the guy that or the picture that you see, the 5 gentlemen that's not blurred out, is that the 5 people that's what I've been wondering this whole time. Is that the 5 people? Is that the 5 people that were at the party that night? That's what I'm wondering. Because it's kind of, you know, there's 5 people. It's kind of weird. So is it those 5 people? I don't want to show the picture. I was gonna, but I'm like, eh. And if anybody doesn't have this, I'm going to share this real quick too. This is the timeline of the events. If anybody wants it, here's a link for it. This is an article that shows the timeline of everything and it taking place. Is 5 people a party? It could be. Mango pancakes. Damn, that sounds good. I don't know if there's a picture of it. I'm not sure. All right, let's see this all-star panel.
They're watching the Chiefs, and the next
2019.
3 are dead, and one.
Thank you.
He's been asleep
Appreciate
for
that.
days. With me, an all-star
I'm glad I wasn't fucking having a thumbnail with their picture on it then.
panel. But first, I want to go to the woman who has been breaking news about the story from the get-go. It's Jen Smith, and she is joining us from dailymail.com. Jen, that's where I first found out about this, and it really just hit me in the face. This guy, Jordan Willis, I mean, he's no idiot. Isn't he a scientist? He's a young guy, big Kansas City Chiefs fan, but he's smart. He's really smart. I don't get how he sleeps for how many days while his friends are dead in the backyard.
Yeah, I mean, very, very fishy to say the least. Jordan Willis, as you rightly point out, is an accomplished scientist, done loads of research into HIV and AIDS, lots of research into COVID-19. Very accomplished guy, no form of record, living in...
Well, there you go. There's the picture. So who's this guy now? Yeah. Look at it. It's got the pictures right there.
Big Kansas City Chiefs fan, but he's smart. He's really smart. I don't get how he sleeps for how many days while his friends are dead in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, very, very fishy to say the least. Jordan Willis, as you rightly point out, is an accomplished scientist, done loads of research into HIV and AIDS, lots of research into COVID-19. Very accomplished guy, no form of record, living in this home in Kansas City, Missouri. He had gone to high school with 2 of the 3 men who were later found dead, was friends with the other for many years.
Okay, what? Okay, something's... So he did go to high school with them? What the fuck? What? Hold on. Let me turn the closed caption. This is not making sense. This is not making sense. Hold on. Let me bring this up a little bit. Scoot it over so we can get the closed captioning in it. Because it's going to be important. This is not making sense. So now he went to school with them. What the hell is it? All right, so let me shrink it up there. We'll go right here for the camera. All right, let me go back. What's up, Steve W? Ticket 107, thank you. Okay, I thought that he... Okay, so the other report... This is fucking nuts. So the other reporter was saying that he just became friends with him 3 to 5 years ago. Okay, how old are these dudes? Because I'm looking at this picture, yo, and I'm just going to be honest. They look late 20s, early 30s. I'm just going to be honest with you. 3 to 5 fucking years. How long were you in high school, bro? Yeah, but the dude that said that 3 to 5 years said that he was the one that talked to the fifth guy on the phone. So why in the fuck is he? At least, man, what the hell? Hold on.
A scientist. He's a young guy, big Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Something, man.
But he's smart. He's really smart.
Sent me links to
I
IG.
don't get how he sleeps for how many days while his friends are dead in the backyard.
Yeah, I mean, very, very fishy to say the least. Jordan Willis, as you rightly point out, is an accomplished scientist, done loads of research into HIV and AIDS, lots of research into COVID-19. Very accomplished guy, no form of record, living in this home in Kansas City, Missouri. He had gone to high school with 2 of the 3 men who were later found dead, was friends with the other for many years. Seemingly a completely normal guy. He lived alone in the house. He worked from home. He had his 2 beloved pit bulls there.
There. That's what I wanted to hear, Jen Smith. How many pets does he have?
He has 2 pit bull mixes. They're called Sadie and Daisy. He describes them as
Sadie
the
and
light
Daisy
of
don't
his
have
life.
to TT for what, 72 hours?
Well, on this particular night, Nancy, Daisy and Sadie weren't in the house, according to Jordan Willis. They were at his father's house, which he says is something that is totally routine. He often sends them to his father's house, so they weren't actually there, he claims, when all of this happened.
Okay, James Shelnut joining me, high-profile lawyer, joining us out of Alabama. 27 years, metro major case in a big city. Former SWAT now leads the Shelnut law firm. James Shelnut, let me remind you, defense attorney, there is no father-son privilege like attorney-client or priest parishioner. No such thing. You know, husband-wife, the wife can't blab that the husband did it. So what I'm saying is, if this is true or not true about the dogs being at the dad's house when the 3 friends are found dead in the backyard and on the porch, he's got to testify if called.
Oh, absolutely, he's got to testify. And, you know, he can be subpoenaed in front of a grand jury. He doesn't have to talk to investigators when they come to his house, but they can most certainly down the road, if it becomes necessary, subpoena him to a grand jury, and then he will be forced to testify unless he himself were to take the Fifth Amendment.
Now, you know, Shelnut, I never discuss politics because I don't want crime and crime victims to become some kind of political football. But when this reality of the law came to the forefront was during the Bill Clinton era, when Monica Lewinsky's mother was called to a grand jury. And everybody was screaming, oh, the mother's going to have to testify. That's wrong. That's illegal. It's not. It is not illegal. Mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, they have to testify. They cannot take the Fifth. They've got to tell the truth about their relative, their son, their daughter. So that's when it came to the forefront, harsh as it is. Of course, I'm not saying the mom or the dad won't lie under oath. I mean, take a look at Casey Anthony, top mom. Her mother, Cindy Anthony, a very nice lady, got up on the stand and she, I believe, perjured herself and took the heat, claiming that she made the searches for homemade chloroform.
Come on.
She said she meant to type.
Why are we bringing up Casey Anthony,
whatever.
Nancy? Come on.
That
let's go.
said,
Come on.
she still got called to the stand. So if what Jen Smith is telling us, chief investigative reporter, dailymail.com, is true, the dad, I guarantee you, is going to be questioned. But back to the 3 dead bodies. Listen to Sydney Sumner from Crime Online.
On Tuesday, January 9th, 9:51 p.m., Clayton McKinney's fiance shows up at the house. She sees the cars in the driveway, and since nobody is answering the phone or replying to messages, she breaks into the home and screams Willis's name. She has had no communication with her partner for 2 days, and she wants answers. She walks through the house and doesn't
Good
find
night,
her
typically.
fiance. Then she looks on the back porch and sees a body.
Holy moly.
So she looks on the back porch and sees a
So
body.
the fiance has been trying to reach all of these guys. Let me understand, Jen Smith joining us, dailymail.com. Did she just call her fiance, Clayton McGinney, or did she try to reach the homeowner, Jordan Willis?
All of the above. She tried to reach Clayton. She tried to reach Jordan Willis. The other families also tried to reach him. Before the fiance eventually went to the house and she ended up breaking in actually through the basement because she got no response when she banged on the door. Other families had gone there and banged on the door and tried to get in. They'd sent Jordan Willis Facebook messages, they'd called him, all of which they received silence from. So it wasn't as if this was her first attempt.
So including calling all the friends, all four of them, including the homeowner. And I'm not calling him the perp or the defendant because he, as of right now, has not been charged with a crime. Okay, let's pick it up with the fiance going through that, breaking in. I mean, she sees the cars out front.
Right.
She sees that they're all still there, but nobody's answering the door, the phone, messages, nothing. So she breaks in wisely and starts screaming. Let's pick it up, but how did the whole thing start? Okay, let's freeze the screaming fiance in time. How did this day start off? Listen.
Something just don't.
January 7 is a football day for the Kansas City Chiefs as they will be playing the Los Angeles Chargers. So 38-year-old Jordan Willis invites a couple of buddies
Ticket
to come to his
109
house
Sudi,
and watch
thank
the
you.
game. David Harrington, Ricky Johnson, and Clayton McGinney arrive at Willis' house in time for the 3:25 p.m. Central Time kickoff. They enjoy the game as the Chiefs beat the Chargers 13-12.
Good
and
question.
Willis makes plans for them to all get tickets for the next home game.
Okay, what happens then?
After the game, Jordan Willis waves the guys off and crashes on the couch. Willis has known two of the men since they were in high school, and the other is a friend. Willis wakes up later and doesn't see the guys, so he assumes they took off and heads to bed. He leaves the doors unlocked so the guys can come and go as they please.
Okay, right there. Back to you, Jen Smith, joining us from Daily Mail. He leaves the doors unlocked, but when the fiance got there, everything was locked up tight.
Right. So why did she break in the basement? I'm wondering, did maybe the dude that lives there got lucky. He went and passed. No. Then how did the three guys? Because if the dude is passing out and going to bed while everybody's still in the house, well then I don't see how all three guys made it outside to the back.
Very, very strange.
They were in high school, and the other is a friend. Willis wakes up later and doesn't see the guys, so he assumes they took off and heads to bed. He leaves the doors unlocked so the guys can come and go as they please.
I don't know.
Okay, right
April.
there. Back to you, Jen Smith, joining us from Daily Mail. He leaves the doors unlocked, but when the fiance got there, everything was locked up tight.
Right.
Very, very strange. And I want to go back to his story about.
It just changes and changes. I don't know, April. It's who fucking knows, man. Who knows? The stories are changing so much, and it shouldn't be this difficult. It's one fucking evening. You only had a couple people. why is it so difficult to figure out and tell the fucking story that happened? He left them unlocked that night, yeah. But if that's a story, and you were asleep, I don't know. The three guys obviously went outside for something. That's what, according, yeah. Not that night, but the next day, maybe woke up the next, I don't know. It just said that he woke up and who knows? We can't assume anything because shit, we don't even know what's halfway true.
About when he goes to sleep, when they leave. This has changed quite a few times since this story came across all of our desks. Now, he has an attorney who I spoke with yesterday. Initially,
wait a minute. Did you say he's lawyered up?
He is lawyered up, Nancy.
Okay.
So initially, he claims, I left them all to hang out in the living room and I go upstairs to bed. Now, the story is, I waved them goodbye, saw them out the house, then returned to the couch where I crashed, then at some stage went from the couch to my bedroom, and sometime after that, he believes, they came back to hang out because they didn't want to go elsewhere to a bar. And that's when he's claiming there was whatever happened. But this time...
Okay, hold on. So he's claiming that he's claiming that they left. He's claiming that they left.
Initially...
Wait a minute. Did you say he's lawyered up?
He is lawyered up, Nancy.
So he's claiming they left.
Okay.
So initially, he claims,
and then
I
came
left
back.
them all to hang out in the living room and I go upstairs to bed. Now, the story is, I waved them goodbye, saw them out the house, then returned to the couch where I crashed, then at some stage went from the couch to my bedroom, and sometime after that, he believes, they came back to hang out because they didn't want to go elsewhere to a bar.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
And that's when he's claiming there was whatever happened.
Okay, what time was this game over, you guys? What time was this game? Does anybody remember? Ticket 110, thank you, Susan. Does anybody remember what time this game got over? Central Time. Because you're gonna have a party. This doesn't make sense. You're gonna have a party, stay there for the game, party for the game, and then you're crashing a couple times, and then they leave but didn't want to go to the bar, so then they came back. Well, then if that's the case, wouldn't their cell phones be with them? Because if they came back to do you're going to go back to your friend's house to go do something in the backyard if your friend's sleeping and you already I don't know. That shit, no.
But this timeline is very strange, and it's
No.
changed a lot. I mean, he says, I asked him, well, how did they get back in if you'd gone to bed? Oh, I left the doors unlocked. But like you rightly point out,
Thank you,
when the
John.
fiance shows up 2 days later, she can't get in the house.
Okay, one of the stories is that they watched the game. They
Cameras
made plans to
everywhere.
buy tickets for the next game, and the
You
three
got 4,
friends
we got
left,
6:30.
and
Which
he went to sleep on the sofa, and then later went.
not when it was done. 6:30, 7 o'clock. Is that Central though?
Went on the bed, up to his bed.
Or Easter,
The other
like, what's the
story
time
is
zone?
that he went to bed and he left them all down there partying. Is that right, or did he saying they left and then they came back?
Yeah, that's right. The initial story was, and this is coming from his lawyer, that he went to bed, leaving them there, and then it changed yesterday to, no, I misspoke. What I meant to say was he waved them off, they left. He then fell asleep on the couch and then later goes up to bed, and they must have come back somehow. So that's a very significant shift in narrative about the night in question.
You know what's interesting? To Dr. Jory L. Crosden joining us, psychologist, former law enforcement, now faculty at St. Leo University, and consultant with the Blue Wall Institute. Dr. Jory, thank you for being with us. You know, I remember distinctly, crystal clear, the last time I saw my fiance alive, the day he was murdered. He drove out of my driveway. I was living with my parents. He held his left arm out of his car on his way back where he lived in Athens and waved at me. That's the last time I saw him. I remember the last time I saw my dad before he passed away. But this guy seems to have a hard time remembering exactly when he saw his friends alive. They're all dead now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's.
It makes-
I would take two different perceptions of this. You know, that he's changing his story is one, and he may have used like a sleep aid, you know, and the sleep aid helps him go to sleep, but it also kind of affects memory, the ability to form memories. And that comes from, you know, once you get into a deep sleep, that's where memories are really getting organized in REM sleep. Certain medications like an ambient, you know, there's been a lot of research about ambient behavior, people falling asleep, getting up and doing things and not remembering them.
Are you talking about him taking some sort of a sleep aid or some type of medicine like cough medicine that would make him groggy and somnambulant? Yes, no. Okay. You know what? I want to follow up on that. Jen Smith, DailyMail.com. Is there
So now they're
any
blaming him for
mention of a sleep
ambient?
aid
What?
or any type of medication
Really?
that would make him, let me just say, groggy as a
Well,
vernacular
yeah.
for somnambulant
Nancy NyQuil makes you groggy, lady. What are you talking about?
state inducer.
Nothing so far,
There's
Nancy.
none?
So one of the questions I asked his attorney yesterday was specifically, were there any drugs involved in the evening? Were there any drugs taken by the group, by Jordan, in the house? He refused to answer.
But so far, nothing about any, let's just
There
say,
you go.
Robitussin.
There you go. He could have said no if there wasn't. He could have said no.
Let me just say,
There's your freaking answer right there.
groggy as a
There's your answer.
vernacular for somnambulant state inducer.
There's your answer.
Nothing so far, Nancy. So one of the questions I asked his attorney yesterday was specifically, were there any drugs involved in the evening? Were there any drugs taken by the group, by Jordan, in the house? He refused to answer.
Boom.
But so
Yep.
far, nothing about any, let's just say, Robitussin.
No,
Refused
nothing
to
like
answer.
that. I mean,
No Benadryl?
no,
No Ambien?
no mention of anything.
Okay,
He did
well-
mention that they had been drinking, but nothing about any kind of sleep aid or other types of, you know, legal drugs, nothing like that.
Is anyone remembering the so-called cough syrup?
Yeah, and I bet you if he did take a sleep aid, his lawyer would have said he took a sleep aid. Instead, he threw in number 5 guy. Oh, really? I was going to reach out to his fiance. That's interesting. He declined to answer.
By the group, by Jordan, in the house. He
He
refused to answer.
declined to answer.
But so far, nothing about any, let's just say, Robitussin.
No,
No
nothing like
Benadryl?
that. I mean,
Yeah.
No Benadryl?
no.
No.
Yeah, if there was Ambien, Benadryl, sleep aid, he would have said, my client took a sleep aid. Come on. You know that. And he didn't. We all know what this is. I mean, come
No
on.
Ambien.
No mention
It's
of anything.
so
They
obvious
did
now.
mention that they had been
It's
drinking,
so obvious
but
now.
nothing about any kind of sleep aid or other types of, legal drugs, nothing like that.
Is anyone remembering the so-called cough syrup killer who claimed he was somnambulant when he murdered his wife? Take a listen to our cut 17. This is Matthew Phelps desperately calling 911.
Tell me exactly what happened.
I think I killed my.
What do you mean by that? What happened?
I had a dream, and then I turned on the lights and
He had
she's dead on the floor.
How?
I have blood all over me, and
What?
there's a bloody knife on the bed, and I think I did it.
Oh, this is another
You
case.
think you did it? Hell yeah.
Oh
you
my
did
God.
It.
I was
Listen,
like, what? Right?
Yeah.
I was like, who, what? Is
she
this the
she
guy that
awake at all
found?
right now? What makes you think she's dead? Is she awake?
She got breathed.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, do you think she is beyond any help?
I don't know. I'm too scared to get too close to her.
Okay, just stay on the phone with me, sir. I'm here with you. I'm here with you.
I'm so scared.
I'm scared. Yes, Sydney, you better roll your eyes. She rolled her eyes almost the same time I rolled my eyes. Hey, can you find out how many times he stabbed her, Sid? Okay, but wait. But before you do that, it ain't over yet. Have you noticed how calm he is? Yeah, I think she's dead, but I'm afraid to touch her. Really? Okay, more.
When did you wake up?
No, I don't know. I took.
So you can blame it on Ambien now? So you can blame it on Ambien.
I took.
Wow.
I took Corseed.
Interesting.
Cough and cold. Corseed, HCP, cough and cold, because I know it can make you feel good. So a lot of times I can't sleep at night.
Okay.
I took some.
All right, so.
Okay, Robertson, you're not guilty. Corseed and HP, you're on the docket. Sydney found out from me how many times he had stabbed his wife. Does anybody just even want to guess? Let me throw it to you, Justin Boardman. I ain't gone to you yet. Wild guess. How many times? Don't look it up.
I'm not looking it up. I'm guessing 24.
Okay, good guess, because I was thinking 19. Dr. Kendall Crowns, you haven't looked it up, have you?
I have not.
Okay, I had a feeling that laid back Dr. Kendall Crowns had not looked it up. Just give me a wild guess. How many times did he stab his wife while he was asleep? And for those of you that can't see me, I'm absolutely using air quotes. How many times? Just throw it out there, Dr. Crowns.
Air quotes.
56.
Good guess. 123.
Wow.
123 stab wounds, and he slept through the whole thing. Take a listen to Dave Mack. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I heard she got customer service, AG. Is that the one you're talking about? I couldn't believe that either.
CrimeOnline.com.
100.
Matthew Phelps is a 29-year-old Bible college graduate with a fascination for the movie American Psycho. He calls 911 just after 1 a.m, claiming his wife Lauren has been stabbed. He tells police he took some cold medicine with Corseed and went to sleep. When he woke up, his wife was dead and a knife was on the bed. Lauren Phelps had been stabbed more than 100 times. And even though they find blood evidence at the scene, investigators determined that Phelps cleaned up a lot of the blood before he made the 911 call. During their investigation, police find out Phelps has told friends he wonders what it would be like to kill someone, and he likes to take cold medicine for fun. Phelps is charged
For
first degree
fun?
murder, and after trying to use the cold medicine defense, he pleads guilty and is sentenced to life in prison without parole.
What's up, Aaliyah?
So, Dr. Jory Crossan, I'm so
Yeah,
glad
100
you
hours
brought
of
up
community
maybe
service.
He had what? Benadryl? Don't
Yeah, something
care.
like that.
Don't care. And as Jen Smith is telling us, there's been no mention of any sleep aid whatsoever. So let's get back.
Yeah,
to
he
what
would have
really
mentioned it.
happened. Who is this
He
guy?
would have.
Who
His
is
lawyer.
the homeowner, as he has been described? Jordan Willis. Take a listen to investigative reporter Rachel Bonilla with crimeonline.com.
Jordan Willis is an HIV researcher and protein scientist who lives and works in his home in Kansas City, Missouri.
Whoa.
Willis is an accomplished scientist whose research into COVID and HIV has been praised in the medical world. In interviews, he describes his two pit bull mixes, Sadie and Daisy, as the light of his life.
Okay. Joining me is a renowned medical examiner, the chief medical examiner in Tarrant County, that's Fort Worth, lecturer, University of Texas, Austin, and Texas Christian University Medical School, Dr. Kendall Crowns. Dr. Crowns, thank you for being with us. What is a protein scientist?
Really? Diet?
A protein scientist, they are the people that work with developing immunizations and things of that nature. They're working at like kind of more cellular, molecular level with the actual proteins that make up our bodies.
Walter White, people.
Okay.
A great value brand, Walter White. Not Quaker.
Okay, could you just stop right there? I learned a lot of Latin phrases in law school, but nothing about what you just said. What? Just slow down. Speed limit 75 mph. Okay, please. What?
A protein scientist is basically someone who is looking at very detailed, minute molecular things that are associated with the body. They're often associated with developing immunizations and figuring out how viruses work, things of that nature.
He sounds brilliant, right? To figure out, to research and develop advancements in COVID-19 immunizations and vaccines and for HIV. I mean, am I getting that right, Jen Smith?
Yeah, exactly. So that was a huge amount of his research. He's celebrated in the field, given plenty of interviews, a great education, Nancy, a really promising young scientist by all accounts.
Okay, so can we get back to the 3 dead bodies? One on the porch. Let's get back to what happened. Take a listen now to our friend Nicole Parton, Crime Online.
Seeing a body on the back porch still screaming Jordan Willis' name, Clayton McGinney's fiancée calls police. Officers arrived to find Willis in his underwear with an empty glass of wine in hand, according to the victims' families. The other 2 bodies were then found in the backyard. Jordan Willis tells police he has no idea what happened.
Okay, Justin Boardman joining me, former detective, West Valley City PD, Special Victims Unit, now with Boardman Training and Consulting. Justin,
Yes,
you're joining us out of Kansas. Was there any snow on that day? That would have been Jan 7?
There was some snow. The reports say that there was like an inch or two, just barely a skiff, if you will.
Okay.
In the backyard.
Let me absorb what you just said, because if there were 3 feet of snow and there was a body under there, maybe I could accept that the homeowner, Jordan Willis, didn't see it. Did you say a skiff?
Correct.
Oh.
AG, anybody that knows the show knows I love Great Value brand. That's all. Everybody knows I love Great Value brand.
What?
A skiff. A skiff. So an inch or 2 of snow. So not enough to cover a body to where you would not see it.
Much less one on the backyard, on the back porch.
Right, especially one on the back porch, and then others out in the yard. When you look at the photographs from some of the articles, it has, without the snow, but pictures of the backyard. There isn't any brush back there. It's pretty plain.
Right up to the fence.
True,
That's
Jen
it.
Smith? Is Justin Boardman correct? He's joining us from Kansas.
Just
what
the
can
fence.
you tell me?
Just by the fence.
Yeah, I mean, it was I think the temperature on Jan 7th went to freezing, 32 Fahrenheit, but no indication of huge piles of snow that would have concealed bodies. And, 32 Fahrenheit, if that was going to kill you, you'd have to be out there for a very long time. You'd have to be nutritionally compromised and severely dehydrated as well, I think.
Right.
Why would they just be out
It takes
there
a while
for
to
that
set in.
long?
Yeah.
Do we have a COD yet, Jen Smith, cause of death?
No, we don't. And obviously this is going
They went back there to partake in something.
to really
That's what
put
they
the
did.
pieces of the puzzle together. The medical examiner is yet to reveal cause of death, any form of even estimation about
I mean, just think about it. Do you think that, just think, with all the studies that he does, do you think he's going to test? Do you think that he's going to test his own experiments on himself? Hell no. He's going to let other people test it.
what happened. And crucially, we don't have toxicology yet for the 3 men who were found dead. And that could explain a huge amount. But right now, no answers. And like you mentioned,
I don't think he's cleared. I know that they said it's 100% not a homicide, but I don't think he's cleared. I still think he's going to be a person of interest, especially with the stories changing so many times. I don't know how you could not be a person of interest. Oh, you're good, Kelly. No. I enjoy all of it. Seriously, I could never have enough. Trust me.
I don't know that it's
no
really
target.
explaining.
And I may not be able to get all in tonight, but you know, this ain't going to be the only show we have on either topic.
Anything from me, because even
I
if they
appreciate
had
all
smoked
of
some
it.
pot, even if they had some alcohol, that would not induce them to stay out in freezing temperatures and not come back in or get in their car
That's right.
or bang on the door, anything. What more?
Right.
Yeah, what more do we know? Listen.
On Monday, January 8th, Jordan Willis claims he did not leave his home at all. He would normally have to take his dogs, Sadie and Daisy, outside to do their business. But they're all staying at his dad's place. Without having to take the dogs out and not leaving the house for any reason, Jordan Willis doesn't realize his buddy's cars are still parked outside his house.
Let me understand something. Jen Smith joining us from dailymail.com, who has been breaking the news on this story. So when the cops get there, he saunters in his boxer shorts holding a glass of wine.
Yeah, he's holding an empty wine glass. Now, the victim's family took this to mean he was still drinking or drinking that morning. He claims it was a leftover empty glass from the night before that he was using for water. But he is, by the looks of things, had just got out of bed in his boxer shorts. When the police arrive, he lets them in and they find the 3 other bodies.
And that's January 9th, correct?
That's January 9th, yeah.
And the party was January 7th.
Party begins at 9 p.m. on January 7th. We know that Willis says that the others left or he went to bed at around 2 a.m. So we have all day on, of course, the remainder of the night, January 7th, 8th, all day January 8th, the night of January 8th, and then the final discovery is on January 9th in the morning.
Man, I'd be all over this looking for receipts. I'll be looking for a digital record. What about it, James Shellnut? You are a former cop before you turned defense attorney. I would be all up in his texts. Did he order in? Did he do an Instacart? Did he leave? Did he leave the home? You didn't see his friend's car still parked there? I'm just having a hard time believing this.
Well, and I agree 100%. Did he communicate with anybody at all? Number 2, when you think about phones nowadays and technology nowadays, a lot of the times you can tell if someone actually reads your text. So even if he didn't proactively contact anyone, is there any indication that he read other people's messages that he received, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on his phone or some other method?
You're right. You're absolutely right about those messages. I was thinking, did he go out for pizza? Did he leave the house? Did he go to an ATM? But we know more now. Listen to Rachel Bonilla and Dave Mack at Crime Online.
As news starts to spread of the 3 friends freezing to death in the backyard while their friend is asleep inside, the families of the victims begin to speak out and ask questions. The biggest question for Jordan Willis is what happened. Next was why didn't you answer calls, text messages, and social media messages from family and friends of the 3 men?
The Daily Mail reports Willis insists he spent the next 2 days in his home, not thinking anything of the fact that his friends' cars were still outside, and only learned they died when the fiancé of one of the men broke into the house on January 9th in the hopes of finding him.
The changing story.
That's a bunch of
And Jen
bullshit.
Smith, Daily Mail, do we know, as Shelnut pointed out, whether he was reading those texts and those online messages?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be huge once it's
Ticket
properly
115,
proved.
thank you.
He says that he did not see them. We don't know yet. The messages predominantly were on Facebook Messenger, which you can tell whether or not someone has read your message. Now,
Right.
the families haven't indicated specifically whether or not they got that, read receipt, but you could, for the sake of argument, see that the relatives of, your dead friend were trying to contact you and just simply not open the message. We don't know.
Well, I was even hearing stories last night that he had left too, so I don't know.
Is the answer
We'll
to your
see.
question.
We'll
as
see
to
if
whether or not he
it's
opened
true or
the
not.
messages. All we know is he says he didn't see them and only saw them after the police came to his home on January 9th and the bodies were found.
I'm curious as to what his reaction was when he realized all three of his friends are dead. Any news on that?
Well, he himself actually has not spoken to the media. He has actually moved out of this house now. He's deleted all of his social media accounts. So all of the communication about how he's feeling, what he's thinking is coming through this attorney. And the attorney tells me that he is, devastated, anxiously awaiting more information from the police about how his friend died, insistent that he wanted no harm to come to them, that they had the plans to go to the next Chiefs game. But he himself is yet to make any kind of public statements or give any interviews about this. I mean,
Well, he's got a
all of
lawyer.
us
He's
have
not
so many
gonna.
unanswered questions that if he just answers
He's
them
got a lawyer,
with
though.
the truth, it would explain a lot. But he hasn't said anything. He's relying on his attorney to do the talking for him.
I find that curious as well. I'm
Why?
also curious if he's going to show up at their funerals. Guys, it's not the first
Why would it be curious that somebody isn't talking because their attorney is talking for them? That, I don't know. It makes sense to me.
time someone claims they slept through
I don't know what the big deal
a
is.
death. Take a listen to our Cut 16 from Crime Online.
42-year-old Barbara Woods is at home in bed asleep with her husband when her son-in-law, Kenneth Parks, sneaks into the bedroom, stabs and chokes her husband, then turns his rage on her, using a tire iron to beat her about the head and a knife to stab her 4 times, causing her death. Parks is charged with the murder, and at trial, his attorney claims that on the night of the killing, Kenneth Parks was plunged into a deep, deep sleep. His next memory is seeing his mother-in-law's face. The attorney said he then regained consciousness and fled the house and drove to a nearby police station. According to his attorney, the 24-year-old Kenneth Parks was sleepwalking as he drove the 14 miles to his mother-in-law's house and killed her in bed, wounding his father-in-law. The jury agreed, and Parks was acquitted.
Wow.
That's true.
Wow.
Barbara Woods at home, asleep with her husband. Her son-in-law drives 14 miles to their home.
Wow.
He says in
What?
his sleep, murders the mother-in-law and father, beating them with a tire iron, killing the mother-in-law, wounding the father-in-law, and he was acquitted. That's right, Kenneth Parks. I'm having a hard time letting that soak in, but there's more. Take a listen to our Cut 21.
Living in a 3-story home in Buffalo, New York, while attending the University of Buffalo, Elena Zabel and her roommates go to a party at the Sigma Chi fraternity not far from their house. One of the roommates headed home earlier than the rest, and by the time Zabel made it back to the house, the door was locked and she didn't have a key. Zabel climbs through a bathroom window and notices a weird smell. Calling out for her roommate, she doesn't get a reply, but hears heavy breathing and thinks her roommate is asleep, so she goes to bed herself. Her roommate isn't sleeping. At that very moment, she's being brutally attacked. Hours later, Zabel awakes and finds her roommate clinging to life. 911 is called, and the roommate is rushed to the hospital where she spends months in a coma and a recovery that was very long. Many people question why it took so long to call for help. Hours between the attack and the call for help. 4 years later, the serial rapist was convicted of rape and attempted murder.
I'm trying to make sense of what we are learning, but Jen Smith, one very disturbing facet of this case. 3 friends dead in the backyard. You don't answer text messages, phone calls for now 3 days, Jan 7, 8, and 9, when police get there on the 9th. But the changing of the stories, that shouldn't change. What happened should not change. Jen Smith, what is the most disturbing change in the story?
I mean, for me, it has to be the fact that initially the story was he left them inside the house, hanging out downstairs. And then the second iteration of the story is, no,
What's
they
up,
left.
Beckles?
I waved them goodbye.
Right,
and then at
Susan?
some stage, they must have come back. One thing I do want to say, and this goes back to the fact that Jordan Willis hasn't yet spoken to the media himself. Changing stories could be down to a really ill-equipped or just incompetent attorney, right? All we heard on Jordan Willis's behalf is coming from his attorney. Now, if Jordan Willis has
What's
his
up,
story
AR?
straight and he's letting his lawyer do all the talking and the lawyer is changing the story, it's in his best interest to get out there and set the record straight. But if it is the case that he's
What's
been
up, Sue,
changing
man?
his story to his
115.
lawyer, who has been,
Nah, I think dude was trying to cook up his own experiments. I don't know.
contemporaneously
I don't
changing
know.
it to the press, that's going to be hugely problematic
I
down
don't
the
know.
line if there's a criminal case.
Why your
Guys,
story
he
changing?
says he slept through the whole thing and had no idea what was going on. But others disagree. Many others disagree. Take a listen to our 14 with Nicole Parton.
John Paserno, an attorney representing Willis, said his client had no idea his friends were dead until police knocked on his door. The New York Post shared a Facebook post from Kaylee Latier, who wrote, "My husband banged on his door for 20 minutes. Latier continued, "My friend banged on his door and then busted a window and yelled and announced her presence. While she's inside and still nothing from him, then the cops come 10 minutes later, and he comes out nonchalant in his boxers with an empty wine glass in hand. Nothing is adding up. Dave, Clay, and Ricky need and deserve justice."
Okay, this is what I'm trying to figure out. Jen Smith, do the relatives and friends of the victims believe Jordan Willis?
No, absolutely not. Under no circumstances. They say that none of this adds up. They need more information. And they are devastated at not only their deaths, but the lack of information from him, someone who had apparently been friends with them since they were at high school, so would know their families, and from the police. You know, from the get-go, the police said, nothing to see here, no foul play. We're going to carry on our investigation. But
Right.
we have no reason.
And then, that's another thing that's sketchy too. Why would you be coming out and saying that right off the bat? Why would you be coming saying that right off the bat? Because there was no signs of foul play? You don't know. You don't know. So why are they coming out saying that right off the bat too?
To believe anyone
100%. 100% they said.
Nor do we have any reason to believe Jordan Willis did anything wrong. Making that kind of statement before you have a cause of death, they might have been a bit hasty there, and the families are, rightfully questioning why they are so comfortable stating that there is no foul play when the investigation isn't complete. We don't even have a cause of death yet.
Dr. Kendall Crowns, Chief Medical Examiner, Tarrant County, Fort Worth, if the bodies became frozen, would that affect finding out a COD cause of death?
Of course,
No,
temperature
actually,
does.
the cooling or the freezing of the bodies will slow down decomposition
Right.
and actually prevent decomposition, so it will maintain the body itself. So it won't alter cause of death at all. One thing you have to think of with 3 individuals dying suddenly, there has to be a commonality between all 3 of them. And an environmental factor, the fact that they're all healthy, I
All
just
at the
can't
same
think that
time,
they wouldn't
too,
get
Tracy.
themselves out of a cold situation. So, you know, could it be drugs? Could it be something else? And you also have to throw in there, you have a research scientist, and his 3 friends are all now dead. It's all very odd.
Right.
Yes, odd. There's definitely smoke, but is there fire? I believe that you can sleep through something, a crime happening in the next room or right above you. What about the roommates of the Idaho students in the Brian Koberger murder case? Take a listen to Dave Mack.
Dylan Morton both home when Brian Koberger allegedly snuck into their home in the early morning hours and stabbed Maddie Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Krenodal, and Ethan Chapin to death in their beds. The New York Post reported the 2 women were texting each other while the murders were happening, and Dylan Mortensen came face to face with the killer right after the attack and gave a description of the alleged murderer, saying he was wearing black and had bushy eyebrows. This information caused a lot of online attacks, with people wondering why, if they were home and awake during the attacks and Mortensen saw the man dressed in black, why did it take hours before police were called?
We're waiting to hear answers to that. There have been a lot of suggestions online amongst trolls that the 2 surviving roommates actually had something to do with the murders. I can emphatically state that is not true. These 2 girls had nothing to do with those 4 murders. But what about this case? Okay, Dr. Jory Crozan, psychologist,
You don't know
former
that,
law
Nancy.
enforcement, now faculty, St. Leo University.
You don't know
what
that.
do you think?
Really, there's got to be a commonality, something in their deaths. It may be like drugs or something.
Ding,
some
ding,
kind
ding.
Of, drug that OD'd possibly, but you know, certain types of drugs, you know, like
Ding,
fentanyl.
ding, ding.
You could tell from the bodies possibly, but if they're frozen, they're going to be just kind of locked in that state. So,
but we don't have any reason to think these guys were using drugs. Shelnut, what do you think?
Would they go?
I'm in total agreement.
Would they go, Nancy, in the backyard to go hit the same lace cigarette? I mean, come on.
There's a commonality.
Something.
You know, when you talk about drugs, you know, you also talk about.
Okay, forget the commonality. All right, that's not really telling me anything.
Wow.
Yes, they probably all were
let
killed
him,
the same way.
How about you let him talk?
Well, we've talked a lot about drugs, but
I haven't talked a lot about drugs because nobody said they were using drugs.
Well, you know, we've talked about whether or not something could have been ingested. And the bottom line is it could be drugs, but it could be a poison as well.
Right. Thank you.
3 people died in the backyard.
Am I the only one that sees the elephant in the room? A man claims he's totally unaware of search efforts for 3 of his friends.
Yeah, Nancy, that's why he's saying it could be poison, you dipshit. I'm sorry. Fuck.
They are there for 3 days, Jan 7, 8, and 9. His story is changing. They're dead. One's on the
right, which means maybe he fucking poisoned them. Yo, you don't understand the question. It's deeper than that, Nancy.
The back porch.
It's deeper than that.
You can see it from inside.
It's deeper than that, Nancy.
Are out in the garden.
It's deeper than that.
And he says he knew nothing. What? That doesn't make sense to me.
It's deeper than that, Nancy.
Could you help me, please?
And then she's gonna
what? I believe 3 guys in the backyard and drop dead.
Dude.
No, I don't think that's what happened. And I think what maybe we're trying to get at here is
thank you.
Those could be. He could have, you know.
At
lied
least she
about
understands.
Not knowing anything, and they could have.
Yeah, at least she understands what's under the fucking icing. You know what I'm saying? Damn! And then she just cut to somebody else. What the hell?
Of some kind of accidental overdose. You know, different type of recreational drug laced with
What's up,
fentanyl,
Darkly?
THC, synthetic drugs. Is there a scenario in which all of the men are taking drugs, perhaps supplied by Jordan Willis or someone else, in which the 3 of them end up dying and Jordan Willis panics and doesn't alert anybody? Is that a possibility? We don't know.
Come on, Nancy.
That the police are not saying that is what happened, but he could.
Yeah, she went to her thinking that. Yeah, no. Come on. The guy was on the right track, Nancy.
Conceals the fact that his friend died of an accidental drug overdose without
Maybe he didn't want. Maybe he got tired of him. You know. Maybe it'd be like somebody studying SKs and then did an SK crime, right? You got somebody that deals with chemicals and it's a chemical crime, you know?
actually murdering them.
Can I is there a concoction that I can mix that doesn't show how somebody passed away on an autopsy, right? Think about it. Is there an autopsy? Is there an autopsy that can't detect? Am I going to be the first one not only to create this HIV medicine, but am I going to be the first one to create a concoction where people can pass away and they can't tell from an autopsy? I don't know.
Them or doing something, more violent to them just for the sake of panic and protecting his, science career.
Well, showing up when police are standing there. I mean, have you ever seen the program?
Yeah, that ain't no thing with Petey.
Because there'll be a guy sitting in his easy chair in the den, throwing back a beer, and cops come running through the house, and he just watches them go by and keeps watching TV like that's normal. I mean, this guy strolls in his underwear with a wine glass. I don't think that's a good look. One thing that is to his defense is that there was no obvious sign of foul play on the three bodies. They weren't shot. They weren't bludgeoned dead. There was nothing to indicate they had been murdered. So how do you wake up and your three friends' cars are parked outside your house? Your phones are full of messages and texts looking for your three friends, and they're on your back porch and in your garden, and you don't know. How did that happen?
Yep.
Of course, Jordan Willis, through his lawyer, insists he had nothing to do with this.
Of course.
And in our jurisprudence system, he is always presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. We wait as justice unfolds. Goodbye, friend. Guys, thank you for watching Crime Online with Nancy Grace here.
Goodbye, friend. Goodbye, friend. Goodbye, friend. Yeah, Nancy. Yeah. All right. So we're going to get to some Idaho4 stuff now. We'll be doing another combo show again tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be the same thing like it's been each morning the last couple. So I apologize if I'm not able to make it in the morning. I'm there. It's just if I'm able to with all the noise and all that stuff. And I don't even know if they're coming tomorrow still. So we don't know. But I'll go ahead and put one out just in case. So before we switch to Idaho4, here again is the timeline for what's supposedly taken place, and I believe it gets updated. This is as of January 19th. I'll have to look. I thought I had one that continuously updates. All right, so we are going to switch to Idaho4. We'll get back into the Kansas City 3 again tomorrow. So the first thing that I'm going to share right here is the newest article from Kevin Reichert. That's the gentleman that we've been reading articles from the last couple days when it comes to this University of Phoenix, Idaho deal. So here's the link to that. We're going to read over this quick, and then I'm going to read through the letter that Mr. Green sent to all of those senators. And let me get that Nancy Grace thing off there. So I'm going to read the letter that Mr. Green wrote back to all the senators. If you guys remember, a couple shows ago, or I even made a video about it too, with the document that was sent to Mr. Green regarding the deal. But first, we're going to get to this article. Green says the U of I outbid multiple suitors for the University of Phoenix. It's a bunch of bullshit. This is what took place. What was taking place was the University of Phoenix was asking anywhere between $550 to over $1 billion, 1.2, I believe it was. And they were getting close to $1 billion offers. And what happened was they kept getting these close to $1 billion offers. And then anytime the vote, just like here in the University of Idaho or Moscow, they came to a vote, and each step would reveal more and more and more. Well, each time that it got to the final stage, that's when the voters would be, they would see everything that was there, and they would be, no. Every time it got to the final stage, the final books, the time that University of Phoenix has to reveal the books, they can't, they can fluff it up all they want when they're in between making deals, but when it comes to the final sale and you get to see the final books, that's when everybody was like, oh no. Because it looked like a beautiful flower from the outside, and when they came up to smell it, it smelled like shit. So what happened is the University of Phoenix was in a bad spot because they're like, shit, everybody is declining it. And I think that's when the University of Idaho was like, man, we see all these deals getting shut down. We see all these deals getting shut down, and they're just asking $550 million. Let's lowball them. Let's lowball them. Because they won't have any other choice. And we already know that we're going to take the deal. So they don't have to worry about something. But we're just going to lowball them. That's funny, isn't it? I'm like a cap. But we're just going to lowball them. And that's what took place. Okay. We know that. Listen, and this is Mr. Green. Look, University of Phoenix, we know that your deals are getting shut down because of all the voters. So why don't we do this? You need us. We need you. So how about you blame the non-disclosure on us? We'll blame the non-disclosure on you, and we'll continue to talk beautiful about one another until we get these things through, because both of us want this deal to go through. That's what took place. So I'm going to read this article. Kevin Reichert. Green says the University of Idaho outbid multiple suitors for the University of Phoenix. Bullshit. The University of Phoenix's broker made two things clear from the outset. C. Scott Green said Wednesday. First, the for-profit online giant wanted to affiliate with a public university. Second, the University of Idaho was in competition with other unidentified bidders. Bullshit. They always use plurals, Green, the University of Idaho president, said in an Ada County courtroom Wednesday morning. Oh, really? And Green went on to explain that he didn't press for names for tactical reasons. So he's going to say, oh, guess what, everybody? I was just going off of what the University of Phoenix was telling us, that they had multiple bidders. I didn't want to press them for who, because it's not my business, right? Plausible deniability all over this motherfucker. This is the cake, and plausible deniability is the icing. Brokers like Titan Partners, Phoenix's financial advisors, work for a seller trying to drive up competition, and they're not in business of divulging names to prospective buyers. Saying he didn't want to look like he'd just fallen off the turnip truck, Green took Titan's word at its word. Plausible deniability. In nearly 2 hours of testimony. Sweet, he actually testified today. Damn, it's a shame I couldn't have been on this morning. Green offered new insights into the Phoenix purchase, a polarizing $685 million deal that he says could transform rural online education and provide the U of I millions of dollars in annual revenue. Because remember, he said, once we acquire the business, our books get opened up to all that good funding money that they get. I mean, he said it himself on the Cup of Joe interview when we went over it Saturday. But the deal would also align the U of I with a partner with a half a century of reputational baggage and potentially leave the U of I on the hook for up to $10 million a year in financing costs. Way more than $10 million a year, Mr. Reichert. Green is at once a peripheral and pivotal figure in the civil trial unfolding in district court this week. Green is not a defendant, nor is the University of Idaho. Attorney General Raul Labrador is suing the State Board of Education over the closed-door meetings that led up to their May 18th public vote endorsing the Phoenix purchase. But Green plays a center role because the State Board took much of its direction from him. The board held its contested closed meetings based on Green's assertion that the U of I was in a high-speed, high-stakes competitive bidding process. Yeah, I know. Not so much, was it? It's all fucking icing. Green also is a central player in Labrador's lawsuit. Over 2 days in court, Deputy Attorney General Gregory Woodard has implied that the State Board trusted Green and demanded no details about the U of I's unified competitors because they only had 90 minutes to fucking vote. Woodard has also tried to discredit Green since most of Green's information came from Titan, plausible deniability, which had a vested interest in creating an air of competition. On the witness stand Wednesday, Green talked at greater length and in greater detail than ever before about the U of I's pursuit of Phoenix. His testimony offered brand new information and behind-the-scenes details. Ooh, yeah. Guess what, guys? I'm going to wow you again. And, sir, if you're going to tell me that you're the first non-lawyer to run a fucking law firm with over 300 fucking lawyers, and you're going to do this rookie-ass business move where you don't even search your competition, that's a business rookie move, bro. And I'm sorry, if you're the only non-lawyer to run a law firm, I'm sorry. You're not a fucking rookie businessman. And this shit right here, you see right away, bro. You know from the beginning this is plausible deniability. The first overture, Green said he first heard that Phoenix was on the market on January 27th, but not from the university or Titan. He said he first heard about the possibility from a contact with Wells Fargo. Shady as shit. A bank that helped the U of I finance a 2020 plan to outsource operations of its steam plant. Shady as shit. Green said he began talking to Titan on February 1st. Then January 27th conversation is a new wrinkle in the U of I's public stated timeline, which had rewritten after Idaho Education News story called its original narrative into question. A newly identified bidder. On Wednesday, the name of another suitor finally came to light. UMass Global, a nonprofit affiliated with the University of Massachusetts. A March 16th internal email from Titan Managing Director Greg Finkelstein named UMass Global, the U of I, and the University. Dude, the University of Arkansas backed out of that shit more than 2 months ago. What are you talking about? Woodard used Finkelstein's email as an exhibit, and while the email supports the narrative about competition, Woodard also appears to be using the document to challenge the board's knowledge of the marketplace. Woodard has asked board members about UMass Global, and no board member has said they'd heard of the nonprofit. Project Neptune. PowerPoints. Woodard also introduced PowerPoint presentations that U of I created for closed-door state board meetings On March 22nd and April 25th, the presenters were titled Project Neptune in code name for Phoenix, frequently used by Titan and UNI officials. The PowerPoints say little about the competition, but under questioning from Woodard, Green said there really wasn't much to say about competition, except that it existed. Yeah, because you took the fucking, I don't care to fucking, I just want to be a rookie businessman move. Because the less you know, the better. But Green said, and the board discussed competition in these meetings. Because he already knew there wasn't competition. He already researched the competition. He already knew. So he knew if he asked who it was or that he said that he researched it, well, then why did you have a non-disclosure agreement until the last minute then? Because that's what they've been blaming the non-disclosure agreement on, was because of the other bidders. The Arkansas vote on April 24th, the University of Arkansas. Hello? They just said Arkansas was a would-be buyer. No, it's not. They backed out April 24th. A bid for exclusivity at some point in the April executive session, a state board member suggested that Green approach Titan about negotiating exclusively with Phoenix. Green liked the idea, he said, because we were about to spend a lot of money on due diligence. Not surprisingly, Titan said he wanted to keep as many bidders as possible in the mix. To this day, we're not exclusive, although we think we're in a pretty good position, Green said Wednesday. The trial, which continues and could conclude Thursday, is crucial to the U of I's buying position. Labrador wants District Judge Jason Scott to throw out the state board's May 18th vote supporting the Phoenix purchase, a ruling that could stymie the sale. And even if the state board prevails in court, the U of I still needs approval from its accreditors, and the U of I affiliated nonprofit must secure financing for the purchase. The U of I hopes to clear this deal early this year, which is like in a couple weeks. Other Wednesday's developments, other testimony Wednesday focused on the crew of the lawsuit and the 3 closed state board meetings. The board held closed executive sessions under a section of state law that covers purchases that pit a state agency against other public bidders from another state or another nation. That's why the case centers on competition and whether the U of I was vying with other public bidders. Some other developments from Wednesday. Kent Nelson, working on the sale, said he knew of other Phoenix bidders, namely Arkansas. Really? Okay, so back in January. He requested the state board use the exemption covering competitive negotiations. Nelson, who had worked with the state education legal issues since 1998, said he could not recall any similar closed meetings invoking this section of law. State Board President Linda Clark also discussed the processes surrounding closed meetings, and in this case, a college or university requests a closed meeting and works with the State Board staff and an in-house deputy attorney general to iron out the details. I've been on the board for 8 years, and this process has served us well. State Board member Callie Roach pushed back against one of Woodard's recurring arguments. The board members should have done their own research about other Phoenix bidders and the need for closed-door meetings. They wouldn't. That would be a hindrance to the whole state governance system. It wouldn't be very productive. That's why I'm saying it's a rookie business move, and you're going to say that you're a rookie businessman? It does not make sense at all. Here's the link to that article again. Let me get to your chat because I can't read it when I'm doing these documents. Plausible you can't deny. That's what it is. Plausible deniability. I didn't know. Bullshit, man. You don't research your competition. If you're an NBA player, you research your competition. You're going to know if they dribble 3 times with the left hand and they're going to spin to the right. You know if they're going to dribble 2 times with the right hand, they're going to shoot it with their left. You know, there's ticks. There's ticks. You always research your opponents. That way you're always prepared. Cat's Puppy Love, what's up? Collection. Yes. Yes, right? I used to work in collections too, man. I used to be pretty good at collections too. Man, it got to a point where I just couldn't do it anymore because I started to have a soul. Because back then when I was doing phone sales and collections, I didn't have a fucking soul. It was just whatever. It was about the fucking dollar, you know? And then as time went on and I started to get a soul, you know, I'm like, whoa, I can't be doing this shit to people. Even if people do owe it, you know, it's like, fuck, everybody goes through hard times. Sitting there fucking threatening people and shit. Right? So I'm going to give you guys a quick, we're not going to go into this tonight. We will go into it in another episode. I'm going to share this real quick. Shout out, Caddy. Thank you. This is the Idaho State Board of Education discusses U of I proposal, ticket number 2, to purchase the University of Phoenix. And this is from 8 months ago. So we will be getting into this in a future show, but not tonight because we got another I'm not going to call it an article because it's a letter. It's a letter to the United States senators that reached out to Mr. Green. So if you give me one moment, let me pull up the letter that the Senate sent to him, and I will share that link with you, and then we will go into this article, or not article. We will go into this letter from the president back to let me hear right here. Oh shoot, it's not going to be a link because it's a PDF. Shit. Well, it won't be a link because it'll be a PDF. Never mind. But this is the one that I'm talking about. United States Senate. This is the one that we read. If you want to go watch the video, I did make a short video about it. Janet, hold on one second. Contribution call out. Thank you, Janet Shepard, for the $2 super chat. Thank you, CJ. Your shows are always the best. Thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it. I really do. And thank you so much for the contribution. So I made a short video about this where I read it. All right. Dear Mr. Green, proud to be 19. Here's the scams about the frickin' University of Idaho deal. So right here, and you guys, you can always watch it, screenshot it, whatever. So this is the letter that Mr. Green wrote back. So they wrote something September 11th, 2023. He's writing something September 13th. So he definitely prompt. He was prompt on writing back. He wants to buy. I know. When you have the United States Senate saying, yo, we stopped our military from using this, Mr. Green, and you saw at the beginning, they said, we feel that it's not only going to affect your community, but it's going to affect the country. And so when we started digging into it more the next day after we read that, that's when I'm telling you guys, I'm calling it within 2 years. Because when the Senate reaches out and says this will not only affect your community, it will affect our country. I'm calling it right now. The University of Idaho will be under investigation within 2 years. The reason it's going to take under 2 years or 2 years is they got to let some books get cooked. They got to have that proof. They got to have the pudding so they can serve that pie. They got the crust. They just need the pudding to be made. And once they get that pudding and they put that pudding in that pie crust and they get that crust over it, and then they can go take it to the oven, then it's cooked. So this is Mr. Green. He says September 13th, 2023, Honorable Senator Richard J. Durbin, Honorable Senator Elizabeth Warren, Honorable Senator Richard Blumenthal. There's the address. It's whatever. Dear Senators Durbin, Warren, and Blumenthal, we are in receipt of your September 11th, 2023 letter in your email indicating your concern for the University of Idaho and the risks that the University of Idaho may be taking on. This letter serves as the response that you requested be received by September 30th. So I can already tell in a future show we're going to end up comparing these two. The questions from the senators and the answers. We're going to compare them here in a future show. I want to read these to you tonight before we go off. First, we sincerely thank you for your concern about the University of Idaho and appreciate the many nice things about us in your letter. As you point out, we have a strong record of graduates earning more than those with high school diplomas because remember, they said most students that graduate from the University of Phoenix online don't, 20% make more than a high school diploma? Something like that. Particularly when compared to other institutions in our state, the U of I has the highest starting salaries of all public institutions in Idaho and the highest mid-career salaries as well. You know why? Because if that college wasn't there or didn't continue to exist there, that panhandle is gone. We are recognized as best value public institution by U.S. News and World Report. And in fact, we are ranked number 1 best value among all ranked institutions in the western part of the country and the second highest in the nation. As you would expect, our College of Natural Resources is one of the biggest in the country, one of the best in the country, supporting the nation's forestry and rangeland resources, and our College of Agricultural and Life Sciences is partnering with the federal government to construct a world-leading deep soil ecotron facility that will help our farmers protect the nation's food supply and maximize carbon sequestration. Remember, I told you from the beginning that they have fucking funding from the government even for experiments like this shit. Deep soil ecotron to maximize the food supply and carbon sequestration, recognized by the federal government as one of the original centers of excellence. Our College of Engineering is a leader in cybersecurity, and we are proud of the work they do in nuclear engineering to support the Idaho National Laboratory. Whoa. Interesting. Then how come you couldn't come up? If you're like all this shit with the cybersecurity, how come you couldn't come up with fucking information? You had to send it out. You had to outsource it. Our College of Business and Economics delivers one of the few commodity trading programs in the country, managing a self-sustaining portfolio and helping to support the nation's commodity markets. On top of that, we also believe we have one of the best marching band. The marching band? I don't think they asked you about the marching band. Having said that, I know you are more interested in our proposed affiliation with the University of Phoenix, UOPX. I will take a moment to mention all your questions and more. Have answers on our frequently asked questions page that can be found at Wow. He's like, look, we got all the answers on our fucking webpage. Whoa, dude, you are cocky. Your letter makes several references to past behaviors of the private education industry that we should address before responding to your questions. Yes, sir, because business repeats itself. We have taken great care to review the recent procedures developed and implemented under the current management team that took over in 2017. Among other actions, the management team has improved processes to monitor interactions with potential students to fully support students from inquiry to employment. Although UOPX has been one of the largest institutions of higher education in the country over the past 20 years, it has received borrower defense claims from a very small fraction of its alumni bullshit, and it has responded substantially to each one presented to it. Really? Why would they need to come, dude? Moreover, after significant due diligence by world-class regulatory and other advisors, we see no evidence regarding your concern that UOPX will abuse students. They're gonna have more lawsuits coming right now. What do you mean? There's 2,000 students already getting ready to start doing new lawsuits. UOPX's quality is demonstrated by the recent reaffirmation of its accreditation by its institutional accreditor, the Higher Learning Commission, HLC. Your letter also makes requests to our facility and staff, being concerned that the affiliation that would result from the proposed transaction could impact the U of I's reputation. We have received a few comments of this nature from both employees and alumni, but on the ground here in Idaho, what we hear is that the vast majority of our employees and alumni support the transaction. Dude, they understand and appreciate the shared vision to improve access to higher education for all people. They also have dedicated elected officials to represent their views both locally and nationally. Yeah, that's why you're having fucking elected officials trying to stop your deal, bro. Regarding your question, what is U of I's plan to improve outcomes for Phoenix students and address the 7 programs at Phoenix that currently are failing the gainful employment rule? Regarding this gainful employment rule, this is an area that clearly demonstrates that UOPX is very different today than it was several years ago. Dude, several hours ago it was shady, bro. When the first gainful employment metrics were calculated, the first set of GE rates were released by the U.S. Department of Education in January 2017. The earnings metrics relied on 2014 income earnings and applied to those students who completed their program from July 1st, 2010 to June 30th, 2012. That's when the attendance was the highest, everybody. It was over 600,000 for enrollment back in 2010. Beginning in 2010, before the GE metrics were published, UOPX has started its processes of creating a smaller institution focused on educating and reskilling adult students, and it retired the 7 specific GE programs mentioned in your letter. Among other programs, specifically 5 of the 7 programs were associate programs, 2 were bachelor programs, and also 7 programs ended new enrollment beginnings as early as 2010. This underscores the significant transformation UOPX has successfully implemented. Dude, they've gone down, not up. You're like repeating, it's like you're like telling them, yeah, this is what they do. Dude, they already know this. This is why they've reached out to you. You're spitting numbers that are positive, and you're not looking at the numbers that they fucking gave you about how shady it is. They gave you the fucking homework, dude. The reduction in associate degree enrollments by 95% and the practice of partnering with a growing number of community colleges nationwide, including the College of Western Idaho. Dude, they probably have 1,500 fucking students. When the military backs out of your shit, that's a sign. When the military spends $200 on a toothbrush, and they're like, you guys, this is not a good business deal. When they're cool spending $200, and that's a cool business deal, and they're coming to tell you that the business deal is shady, but they don't think the $200 toothbrush is shady. Yo, it's shady overtime. As you noted in your letter, the University of Idaho is leading land-grant institution with over 130 years of success in producing students ready to lead the industry. The University of Idaho is committed to its students and to the state. There's nothing about this transaction that would change that. We are a residential university serving primarily traditional college students. We continue to invest in student support. University of Phoenix is a primarily online university with world-class student support systems. The University of Idaho and our citizens will benefit greatly from making these systems available to our students through appropriate arrangements between the two institutions. 2A, what is U of I's plan to cover potential liabilities it could acquire from Phoenix, right? Yeah, here we go. We must point out that the U of I is not purchasing or acquiring the UOPX. UOPX will be acquired by 4-3 Education. Then why isn't 4-3 Education going to be the company that, oh, that's your company that's going to have access to the books, and you already told people that you're going to have access to the books, and you already told them that the University of Idaho is going to have access to the books up in this article, bro. So now all of a sudden, 4-3 Education, a nonprofit corporation that has already been granted a 501 tax-exempt status by the IRS, will operate UOPX using its current name. In other words, 4-3 Education will do business as University of Phoenix. Yeah, and this is such... Dude, I bet you they read this, and they're like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Like, what are you doing, dude? This is why they're going to be under investigation within 2 years. The fiduciary board of 4-3 Education, which will govern UOPX, will have a majority of directors who are independent. The University of Idaho Board of Regents, which is the entity that operates and governs the U of I, will serve as the sole member of 4-3 Education Incorporated. As such, the U of I will not be the owner of UOPX. Instead, U of I and UOPX will each be a separate education institution that is part of the separate legal entity. Additionally, the $200 million left on the balance sheet will not be provided to the U of I. Rather, those funds will be among the assets that will be acquired by 4-3 Education Incorporated as part of the transaction. Those funds will be used as working capital for any other purposes needed by the University of Phoenix. Bullshit. You're going to have that fucking company. Hey, this is for your student initiative, University of Idaho. Right? As stated in our fact, the issue on Title IV has been reviewed by top advisors. Student loan debt is certainly something we pay attention to at the University of Idaho. It is a conversation we have had with the new management of the University of Phoenix and was considered as part of our due diligence. A result of our careful due diligence, U of I leadership has full faith in University of Phoenix processes. In addition, we are conservative financially, and the U of I has evaluated these risks and believes that UOPX is well prepared for any potential contingent liabilities and other calls on working capital, because all they're left with is having to pay $10 million a year if the shit goes belly up. It's going to be the community members that pay for it. The taxable and non-taxable bonds. It's what I've been saying. As you point out, there's $200 million in cash that will be left on the balance sheet as of day one. Additionally, UOPX has established track record of producing positive cash flow. Really? Then why would they want to sell their fucking business, dumbass? The elements combined with other financial tools protect against and mitigate the impacts of contingency risks. University of Phoenix will be actively managing these risks, converting the for-profit institution to a not-for-profit institution, which will also help with your concerns regarding the for-profit sector. The taxes currently paid and the excesses revenue currently distributed to the owners will now be available for focus on student success at the University of Phoenix and contributions for student success at the University of Idaho. There it is. Students will be the most significant benefit. Lying motherfucker. See what I'm saying? You're going to say that the University of Phoenix reached out to the University of Idaho because they needed the University of Idaho's help to become a nonprofit, but then you say that the University of Phoenix isn't going to have anything to do with it once the sale's done. So why would they need help to have become a nonprofit if they're not going to have anything to do with the business after the deal's done? It makes no damn sense. And then a business that's making money and they're trying to scramble to sell it? Get the fuck out of here. Dude, these senators ain't believing your bullshit, Mr. Green. 2B is the $200 million a contingent payment to cover anticipated liabilities. Answer, as stated, we are conservative financially, and so number of financially tools will be used to mitigate any contingent risk and operational needs. There is no payment to the U of I, but there is a $200 million in cash that will be left on the balance sheet by the sellers as of day one, and that money can be used for any operation needs encountered by the UOPX. U of I 3 has stated that it plans to fund the acquisition through bonds, but the state bonds will not be issued. Please provide additional details on the financing of the deal. I'm sorry, I'll get to your chat here as soon as I can. We are almost done, and this is going to be a very interesting answer because it's something that's been asked for months. This is Mr. Green, as stated in our FAQ. Again, because number 2, as stated in our FRQ, as stated in our FRQ. I mean, what a dick move. This deal is self-financing, meaning the bonds will be issued by 4-3 Education, who's going to go belly up because of the deal, DBA, University of Phoenix, and will be backed and serviced by the revenues generated by the University of Phoenix, which are not going to be much because the lawsuits are going to be out the yang. The bonds are not issued by the U of I or the state of Idaho, nor is there any default recourse on the U of I or the state of Idaho. Yeah, it's on the nonprofit it's a bunch of bullshit. And who has the investment in the nonprofit? Not the college, the community. It's horrible. The U of I may choose to back a portion of the bond principal and interest if needed to obtain a materially better interest rate that could end up benefiting both the U of I and UOPX. We have selected Citibank to manage the issuance process, considering fees, experience, and other factors. We have selected Arizona IDA as the conduit issuer. It should be noted that the expected cash flows of UOPX, even in a scenario with little to modest growth, are more than sufficient to manage debt service that is anticipated on the bonds while leaving considerable excess cash for reinvestment into UOPX or the efforts of you. Then why, sir, is the University of Idaho the first people to get the first $10 million of any profit from this deal? Then why in the fuck is your university getting the first $10 million of any profit before the nonprofit or the University of Phoenix? You're a fucking liar. How would U of I ensure that veterans are not targeted through predatory recruiting? As University of Phoenix did grow rapidly during the mid-2000s, including serving large numbers of military-affiliated students. At the time, military-affiliated students represented approximately 20% of the total enrollments. Today, UOPX's GI Bill-supported student veterans represent about 9%. Yeah, because they don't want to fucking do business with you. And you still have some people on the fucking hook. This is total gaslight. U of I leadership has done due diligence to assess the current state of University of Phoenix's practices and believe University of Phoenix has strong academic operations and a robust, compliant-oriented approach. I didn't realize this was this long. Sorry, guys. Furthermore, under this proposed affiliation, the University of Phoenix's governing body will be an independent board of directors appointed by the regents of the University of Idaho, shedding its for-profit status and moving to a nonprofit tax-exempt structure will lock in and reinforce the existing student-centric operating focus. There are also other regulatory and statutory obligations to which the University of Phoenix will need to adhere to, such as conditions set by the U.S. Department of Education under its change of control regulations that would require the University of Phoenix to comply with the 90-10 rule for a period of time in Public Law 116 to 315, which requires the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs to conduct a yearly risk-based survey audit during the 3-year period beginning on the date an institution converts from for-profit to nonprofit status. Current management has installed a strong compliance culture in related processes. So all of these facts that present that there is no intent to evade the updated 90-10 rule or permit improper recruiting process practices. You're a bunch of shit, dude. If U of I purchases Phoenix, does it plan to enter into a surface? Hey, the University of Idaho is not purchasing. Same thing. It's the same answer that we're here. We're not purchasing it. University of Phoenix is being purchased through the 4-3. Dude, you just copied and pasted. How disrespectful. At least change it around a little bit. Would U of I carry over Phoenix employees, specifically employees who work in marketing and communications? Answer. Upon close of this transaction, the two universities will remain separate and independent, each with their own leadership. Number 5C. Which entity would lead marketing and recruitment efforts, including setting enrollment targets? Answer. Upon close of this transaction, copy and paste. Copy and fucking paste. 5D. Will the new entity have U of I or Phoenix branding? Again, after the copy and paste. Copy and paste. Senators, we do appreciate your interest in the University of Idaho and our affiliation with the University of Phoenix. We hired world-class advisors. You already said this up there. We hired world-class advisors to review the University of Phoenix and its management and found a very different organization than the one that you described. It's a copy and paste again. UOPX has implemented strong compliance controls, has spent $600 million on student success and other IT systems over the past 5 years, and a strong commitment to its mission to help adult learners educate and elevate themselves. Much of the data we see in the current UOPX student pipeline are better than their online peers and point to improved outcomes ahead. We also believe the structure of our transaction answers many of the concerns you have raised with private education institutions in the past. This not-for-profit status for 4-3 Education Incorporated will enable tens of millions of tax and dividend dollars to be redirected for the benefit of our students. The clean break from the sellers differentiates the structure of this deal from the Kaplan and Ashford transactions you cited. As there, means we can wipe our hands free, government. Oh, so shady. And there is a management team and majority independent governing board dedicated to their students and to compliance with law and regulations. We therefore welcome you to join us in celebrating this affiliation with us upon closing. An invitation will be forthcoming. Dude, what a dick move. Invitation will be forthcoming to come celebrate the affiliation when they've been trying to tell you this whole time that it's a shady ass deal. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't realize that document was going to take me 30 minutes to read. So I'm going to be getting to your chats from when I got to the beginning of the document. Sorry about that, everybody. I didn't realize it was going to take that long. I'm hungry too. It's so shady. This is why I'm saying it's going to be under investigation in 2 years. There's going to be a year of paperwork, another half a year of getting everything lined up, and then freeze. Fucking investigation. What a joke. It's all a fucking joke. It's like the shit. It's all dick moves, Tony. It's all dick moves. The copy and paste. The copy and paste. You're sitting there like answering all these statistics. I'm pretty sure they already know. I'm pretty sure they already know. But you're just dropping all these statistics like, dude, plausible deniability. It's not going to be over. I guarantee that, because when it comes to the Kevin Reichart guy, the reporter, he's coming out with an article every day now. So you can guarantee there's going to be another one tomorrow. It's going to be very interesting. I don't think the trial, I think there's another day of the trial, maybe two. So there's going to be more articles. I'm going to try and reach out to him. And see if we can have a conversation about this. I want to learn more. Let me ask Kevin the questions that we all want to know, because I'm sure he'll say it. I'm sure he'll say it. Because this shit right here, and I'll be, I'm not even trying to put him in a position where he can get in trouble. I don't give a shit. I'll say it. I'll say it. The shit's shady. I'll speak. And he can just answer the facts. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm going to be putting out a notification for tomorrow, but just like this morning and the morning before I was able to go live. This morning, not so much. I'm going to try again tomorrow morning. We're going to be talking about these two cases again because there's still more stuff for both that I want to get into and that we are going to get into, and plus there's going to be updates and all that good stuff too. So fingers crossed. I apologize in advance if it ends up being like this morning. Hopefully it's like 2 mornings ago. I miss you guys during the day. So I hope you all have a good night, peaceful and positive. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for hitting the like. Appreciate it. If you haven't hit subscribe, please do. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate all your support.